I welcome you to another episode of Journey of Self. As I had mentioned in my previous introductory session, this particular video series is about me, my experiences, my content, and my stories, so that you learn along with me and through me from my own real life events and experiences. So I bring to you this plus what I had been able to overcome with help of my coach. So in this given particular episode, I would like to share with you, I gave this as a title of Better Than Me, a story I bring to you from my job experience. And in this given thing, the story goes like this. In my earlier days, like I was almost in my first job, I should say, while I had work and had been able to achieve all my goals, surpassing even the most difficult targets. Later on, I came to learn that my salary pay package was lacking in parity with many new colleagues who had just joined in. The reason was a lack of proper pay scale parity work that was supposed to be done. But since our organization did not do any of that, I was actually getting almost 50% less than what my colleagues were at, even though they were junior to me. Now, when I learned about this, my initial idea was, uh, unlike others, start to think or evaluate. But I went a different route. I started to think maybe perhaps they are better than me, or their value, their worth, what they bring to the table is more than me. It was more of me assuming things without even having complete proper knowledge of what exactly was going around, how parity is important, why was that this parity was lacking. And it's a very commonplace scenario in most of the Indian corporates where we see people with a certain B school or a tag end up getting more pay besides the experience part. So here again, it instead of me doing the research, I went into a different web where I went into a self-pity vicious circle, thinking that I was not really worth the pay that others were getting and I was not. And this did had an effect on me for a very long time. But the way my work was impacted was I was looking and was hungry for more work, more good meaningful work, thinking that doing so will help me really reach that parity. And again I was completely wrong here. So as days went by, the constant comparison and the vicious circle of thinking, having a low self-worth, continuing to blame things beyond our control, constant comparison within hierarchy, within roles, within departments, within functions. It was all a proxy war within my own self without any valid research and work. So eventually it did had a lot of effect on me. Only when after I met my coach, I was coached on this particular area, because it was, and sometimes I do remember even in the past, it had a major impact on my self-worth and self-esteem. So my coach helped me, but while it was a long drawn process, when I came out of it, the three lessons that I would like to share with you, because as I mentioned earlier, this is a very, very common scenario where we keep constantly comparing ourselves with our colleagues, peers. We do not do proper research. There's a lot of uh, jumping, assuming things, jumping to conclusions, and keep on thinking without any validation of it. So uh, my coaching went on for several years, which really helped me get out of it. But the three key lessons, friends, that I would like to share with you here is, first of all, one needs to know one's worth. And this is not, I'm talking about monetary worth, but understanding one's potential, because this is very important for us to keep us away from this evil habit of constant comparison. Second thing, one also need to identify our comfort zone. I was so comfortable in my organization. I felt it so safe that I seldom ever thought that despite the disparity in pay package, in promotions, I just stuck to that firm for a very long time. I could have had done better, both monetary and professionally, but I didn't do any of that because I was just stuck into my comfort zone, where my coach helped me identify that and also helped me move out of it. And finally, the biggest lesson I learned is, especially to do with careers, friends, we always need to think long term. Sometimes when I now look back, I regret some of my decisions, and also that our young years where we are inexperienced, it is always better to consult an expert who could help us plan long term. When I say long term, it's not 10 years or 5 years down the line, but at least give us a perspective about what could have been a better method and approach to such scenarios, and how one can really make best use of one's potential, not keep on constantly comparing and waste our time and energy on futile areas. Rather focus on one's potential and further invest in it so that it helps in the long term approach. So friends, this was something that I have been through, I have lived through, and I have overcome it. In case this brings you, or maybe you know someone or it relates with you, please feel free to share your experiences with me. And I look forward to talk to you in my forthcoming episodes. But I would say, while you listen to me and my experiences, uh, take a pause and also think, if does it bring out something in you, does it in any way relate, or is it, are you doing the same mistakes? Because maybe you are at a different phase of your life and I am at different, but sometimes from others we can learn, and the wise learn always from others mistakes. So if this particular episode and experiences that I've shared gives you some wisdom and insight, I'll be more than happy to hear back from you. Other than this, if you have any further questions, or you find yourself in similar situations, or any of your colleagues, uh, reach out, friends, reach out, seek help the way I did. Even though it took me some time to really seek help, but I would suggest you don't delay it. Thank you so much. Thank you for watching this. And these are my coordinates. You can anytime reach out to me and write to me. Thanks a lot. Talk to you soon in another upcoming video.